He does his own thing as well. He has a platform, but he goes inside. And you know we like the people that go inside. They come out and they tell us everything. So tell us, man, who was on the stand today?
It was Jane Doe. This is victim number 2 of 3. Apparently victim number 3 ain't coming. So we just got Cassie, victim number 1, and we got victim number 2 right now. This is the Jane Doe.
Is number 3 also a Jane Doe?
Number 3, I don't know if she's a Jane Doe or not, to be honest with you. But yeah, this victim was here. I'll be honest with y'all. I be in the courtroom every day except for Thursdays. And I've seen this victim's testimony. It's all nonsense. Her particular testimony. The other witnesses, yeah, some of them might be credible. She literally said, I did everything with consent. So what are we here for?
No, she ain't say that.
She said that. She said, I know I consented to everything. She said that on a text message. And then the prosecutor said, is that true? And she said, I'm still trying to figure that out. So what are we here for? How could you traffic somebody who gave you consent? So I'll be honest with y'all, this victim, she's out of there, is done.
All right, we know by now who the Jane Doe is. That's a fact. But understand that before they put a witness on the stand, don't they go over like practice or something like that? Don't they do a practice run?
Yeah, one of the victims met with the prosecution 27 times. So yeah, they do. This one most definitely did. This one was with Puff until the day he was arrested, apparently. So if you guys were following the case, remember when they arrested him a day early here in New York. And they arrested him at his hotel, and he had all the freak off stuff, the baby oil, the drugs, he had all that stuff in his hotel room. And there was a woman in the hotel room that they haven't identified. I think it's this woman. He wanted one last one before he got arrested.
So my thing is, then why would this woman who already did a pre-run with the prosecution get on the stand and say something damaging like that?
Because she still loves Puff, man. And he's still paying for it. He's still paying for her rent. He's still giving her $10K a month. She still loves him. Just like they asked Cassie, do you still love him? And she paused and she said, I love our past. After the man you and trafficked you, you love your past?
Right, because that's what victims do. I could go into details like I did before, but this particular woman, she's a plant.
Oh.
Allegedly, I believe so.
Yeah, 100%, man. And she tried to line them up. I wrote that in my notes, too. If you were here, they've been using text messages that they've been sending back and forth. As soon as Cassie's lawsuit came out, she sent them a big, long text message with all these buzzwords and all this stuff that clearly either came from her lawyer or something. She wanted to document it in case she wanted to turn around and try to get a bag from him, too. And I was like, how is she using all this language now? They never used that language before. Yeah, so, yeah.
What you said on the other day when you
What's
were
that?
back and forth with that attorney.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was like, let me just.
And I be telling people, look, unless you're a trial lawyer or something like that, you're just a glorified researcher to me. I don't care if you have a law degree. I can research too. Yeah, you're a glorified researcher. Yeah.
Especially if you have never done any of the RICO.
Exactly. If you haven't done it, we starting at the same level if you haven't done it. We're both researching what this criminal charges are. The law is not hidden in some secret book in top of some secret mountain that you need a law degree in order to climb. All right? Yeah. We all can research the law. I've beat lawyers representing myself in court by myself, like without help. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Legally, refresh us a little bit. What is Sean Diddy Combs? What are these charges, man?
Yeah, so there's 5 charges in total, but there's 3 real actual offenses. So the first offense is the Mann Act, and that's transporting a prostitute from across state lines, okay? The second one is sex trafficking, and then the third one is RICO. But he's charged for 2 counts of sex trafficking and 2 counts of the Mann Act, so it makes up for 5 charges in total. 3 offenses.
Right. So some people say it's looking like a hung jury. How much, 1 to 100, what's your percentage on that? Hung jury.
I feel like it's definitely about a 7 out of 10 could be a hung jury. And I believe it could be a hung jury because the prosecution is really trying to invoke a lot of emotion in the jurors, and a lot of the jurors are probably going to say, I got to convict him for something. So people think it's a hung jury, like you just need one to say that he's not guilty, but I think it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 to say he's guilty of something. I feel the opposite. I think it's the opposite because
I agree.
I
agree with you.
And I can figure the 3 that's going to be.
I told you.
Yeah.
So all right, that's a hung jury. But do you think the prosecution have enough to legally prosecute Sean Diddy Combs?
No, here's why. The Mann Act, they got him for, hey, you've flown people out, because there's been testimony, not from any escorts or entertainers, only from the victims. Now remember, it's 2 charges of basically flying people out, and those 2 charges are the 2 victims, Cassie and the Jane Doe that's on the stand right now. Those aren't actually the escorts. That's what people keep saying. Oh, he flew escorts in and out. Listen, how do you think the adult film industry is a $1 billion industry? You think people aren't flying out? Yes. How do you think the OnlyFans industry is $100 million, damn near $1 billion? You think people aren't flying out to go do collaborations and stuff like that? What are we talking about? How is Cowboys for Angels, which is where they were hiring a lot of these entertainers, how is that a business then? If all this is illegal. These 2 charges, if people don't understand, these 2 charges for transporting across state lines is Cassie and the Jane Doe. They're saying he's doing that for his own girls, which...
Oh man, Diddy about to walk out them golden doors, man. Wow, wow, African Diddy, man, wow. So I'm glad you're breaking it down so they can digest this information. Now, as far as the defense, how you think they holding up? How are they doing compared to the prosecution?
Look, man, the defense is doing their job. I know that they called for another mistrial over the weekend and people are going crazy about mistrial, but here's the thing. They knew they weren't going to get a mistrial. They're setting up for, if he gets prosecuted, they want to be able to bring it up in the appellate court or bring it up on appeal to say, we brought it up. Because what people don't understand is during appeal, the judge will say, well, why didn't you bring this up during the trial? Right. So they're going to be able to say, we did, judge, we brought it up, we asked for a mistrial, but the judge ignored our request. But if they don't make that request, it's very difficult to defend it later on after the fact. So they weren't even really thinking it was going to be a mistrial. Of course not. People be going crazy because they're running for the headlines to say, oh, Puffy's trying to get away, he's trying to escape. This is the lawyer's job to bring that up so that they can have an argument later on.
So do you feel like me that all I'm getting is salacious Diddy, evil Diddy, Diddy that treat humanity bad, right? Oh, we don't need to go into details, they heard. But we not really seeing the criminal Sean Diddy Combs. Like, we just get more of the salacious things. Is that all they got?
Well, we're seeing the criminal Sean Diddy Combs for sure. I mean, it's criminal.
Let us know.
It's criminal to assault somebody. Yeah. We've seen him assault somebody on tape. It's criminal to do some of the things that he has done, and that, like, you know, we heard of him asking his assistant to pick up drugs for him. We've heard of him asking the Jane Doe to pick up drugs from LA and bring it to Miami, right?
Possession is a crime.
Yes, possession is a crime. Being a mule is a crime. But those aren't the crimes that he's charged with. That's the thing. We're hearing criminal, and this is what the prosecution doing. They're trying to fog the minds and blur the lines so the jury can't figure out what's criminal and what's not based on what he's charged with. They're showing a lot of crimes, but they're not showing the predicate crimes that attach to RICO, and they're not showing the Mann Act, and they're not showing the sex trafficking. And let me give you guys a real quick example. I just did a video about this the other day. Bribery, for example. We keep hearing that, oh, he bribed the guy to get the tape. Listen, he bought a tape. That's not bribery.
If I come to you and I say, yo, give me that tape, right? And the guy give you a price, that's not bribery?
No, unless I'm a public or elected official.
Yes.
I gotta be an elected official. Or you gotta be, or you gotta be hindering a criminal investigation or a police investigation. Cassie didn't call the cops. There was no investigation. And what I was challenged with the lawyer across was, she said, but he took the tape and he destroyed the tape. So therefore, what if she did want to press charges? They wouldn't have the tape, so it is hindering an investigation. But who said he destroyed the tape?
Right.
Who said that?
Right.
And he's a smart guy.
Wait a minute. So Diddy bought this tape. He had possession of the tape?
Yes, and I think he gave it to his lawyer. So that's what I would have did.
So how did it leave from the lawyer to the TV?
I don't know that that's what happened. I don't know if they gave him the only tape or what. Yeah, originally,
who had it?
Israel. The original tape that we saw was a tape of a tape. It was a recording. He recorded it, the screen, with his phone.
So, all right, so let's stick to the tape. The guy in the hotel got a copy.
Yeah, the guy in the hotel
got the original.
No,
he recorded the screen.
Oh, he recorded the screen.
Yeah.
All right, but how did? Okay, years go by though.
Yeah.
How they know whoever got that tape for seat on TV? How they knew that dude had a copy?
I believe he got lined up. But here's the thing, it's not illegal for that tape to get out. It's not illegal for that tape to get out. The only thing illegal about that tape is what he was doing on the tape. That's the only thing illegal about that tape.
I'm gonna bring it back. 15 years go by.
Right.
Right? Who knew to go to that specific man because he recorded the screen.
But now we're speculating, but I believe that guy heard about the lawsuit and he said, hey, I have that tape years later and I can sell this.
Oh.
Or maybe his wife, because he sent it, he said he took it for his wife.
Somebody in the chat said that
Yeah.
Cassie released the tape.
Cassie might have.
So,
Allegedly.
so the lawsuit came first and then the tape came out
That's correct. The lawsuit came first.
You remember
Yeah.
that?
by Cassie.
Yeah, the extortion. You call it a lawsuit, I call it extortion. I mean, if you write a book and then you say, give me $30 million for the rights of the
That's
book,
extortion.
that's extortion.
All right, so legally, if Diddy walk out of them doors, right? To me, Diddy still, to me, is a
foul dude.
Yeah, and he need to repent, cleanse.
Look, man.
Okay, Diddy get off? Does that changes anything how you see him or perceive him to be?
If he gets off, I don't think it changed how people thought of him before he went in.
Really?
I think a lot of people before he even went in were already saying this stuff. This was already out there. There's nothing that surprised me about this. He sings it, he raps about it. Remember
Tupac,
that?
Biggie.
Remember that 50 Cent Jay and the I Get Money remix? What did he say? Diddy did it, but my lawyer's so good that Diddy gotta quit it. Like I'm telling y'all.
Yeah. He also said, I'll put $1 million on your head and erase you and your family.
Yeah, he's been saying it in his music. If anything,
Now
Diddy's
remember-
been rapping what he's living.
The
If
$1 million, but at the end of the day, you say 70% Diddy will walk?
I'm not saying 70% you walk. I think 70% a hung jury. I think it's 50-50 that he walks because I haven't heard the defense yet.
Yeah.
We gotta
Alright.
hear the defense.
What is your channel so people would...
Yeah. If y'all want, I just made my channel last week. It's Khanversations with Jay. My name is Jay Khan, Khan. So Khanversations with Jay is Khan Versations with Jay. Khanversations.
I got it, y'all.